And with the Oscar nominations out today, a former Reagan advisor says despite the great communicator's affection for the movie business, Hollywood never returned the accolades. And now he's calling for an honorary Oscar for the Gipper. How about one for the Gipper? Mark Weinberg joins me, President Reagan's former press secretary and special advisor, and author of the upcoming book, Movie Nights with the Reagans, a memoir. Wow, that must have been a lucky thing to be part of. Good to see you, Mark.
Good to see
Thank
you.
you for being here tonight.
Thank you for having me.
I did just watch that movie recently, and I was struck by it because I'm a Notre Dame fan, so I went back and watched the movie. And he was really good. He's a good actor.
He was a good actor.
He doesn't get credit for being a good actor, but he was a good actor.
He was a good actor, and he was very proud of being an actor.
So tell me a little bit about his, how he felt about Hollywood when he moved back to California after being president.
Well, we talked about it from time to time, and he said to me once that he would think that doing what I've done or having accomplished what I've accomplished, and he meant the presidency, the motion picture business would commemorate it or honor it in some way, but I guess their political agenda has taken over good manners. And I write about this in my book, Movie Nights with the Reagans, and I think it hurt him. It hurt his feelings that his former profession, of which he was so proud, and for which he had so much affection, never really returned it. He wasn't saying, oh, my movies were all Oscar-worthy, but he was so proud of it, and I think it hurt him that they snubbed him. I mean, you can imagine if Obama or Bill Clinton had come from the movie business, I have a feeling the Academy would have recognized them.
Nancy Reagan was always so instrumental in preserving her husband's legacy and promoting his legacy and wanting to make sure that he was remembered fondly and respectfully. Did she ever try to reach out to her friends in Hollywood and say, why don't you do this for Ronnie?
No, not that I know of. It wouldn't have been her style to do that. And he didn't complain about it much, but when we did talk about it, it was clear that it hurt his feelings. And what better time for Hollywood, given all the issues that they're facing now, the calls for diversity, how about some diversity in political philosophy and going back and honoring the only one of their own who ascended to the presidency?
I mean, who's going to be the person to stand up and promote this besides you, right? I mean, you look at Hollywood, there are so few people who would, perhaps Clint Eastwood, there are certain people that you could imagine maybe bringing that up. But I think it would just get shot down so quickly. You talk about ideological diversity. There's absolutely none of that at these award ceremonies.
No.
Very political.
There really isn't. It is very political. And remember, Reagan was not only a prolific actor, he was twice president of the Screen Actors Guild.
That's right.
His contribution to the movie business is really unparalleled, and that's why we've started this petition, ReaganOscar.com, where people can go and say to the Academy, right this wrong, give this unique individual the recognition he deserves.
Yeah, and we see so many people recognized for lifetime achievement.
Right.
And it would be so it'll be interesting to see how many people sign it. Tell me about Movie Night with the Reagans.
Well, Movie Nights with the Reagans was pretty much every Friday night and Saturday night at Camp David. They had a small group of people who were there, 4 or 5, who were with them for the weekends, into their living room in Aspen Lodge, which is the presidential home there. And I describe what it was like in Movie Nights when they would open the door and have you sit in the living room with them on couches, on comfortable chairs. The lights would dim and movies would be shown, mostly iconic movies of the 80s. But they snuck in a few golden oldies of their own, too.
I think President Trump's been doing a little bit of that. I mean, most presidents invite people over to see a movie occasionally. I think Darkest Hour, he had people over to see recently. And apparently, he likes to talk a lot during the movie, which I think a lot of people would find annoying. But President Reagan probably didn't talk during the movies.
Dead silence. I describe in Movie Nights the scene where he looked at his watch at the beginning of the movie, dead silence, other than laughter. And as soon as the movie ended, he would look at his watch. He timed every single one to the minute.
Fascinating.
He was a student of the craft.
With the book, and keep us posted.
I sure will.
How the petition goes as well.
I sure will.
Nice to have you here.
Thank you for having me.